Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bleakhaven. I am your host, the Birdman, and today with me we have again Mr. Stanley K. Bostwick.
I'm a regular.
He's a regular, the regular guy. And then Ardie, what's your last name?
Aquino.
Aquino.
There you go. Perfect.
We got it. We got it. I'm sorry.
Wonderful.
First name's terrible with last. First of all, we appreciate you coming on the podcast today.
Thank you so much.
Where are you at?
From the Philippines.
The Philippines.
The Philippines.
Dang.
Yep.
All the way on the other side of the world.
Wow. I bet it's more fun over there than it is over here right now.
Wait, that's definitely our Department of Tourism's slogan.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what got you into Bleakhaven? What brought you into our beautiful world?
Maybe we could blame the beautiful and magical world of the internet. It's because of the Facebook page that we're in, Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
The
comic book creators.
Comic book. Mm-hmm. Yeah, comic book creators. I don't know how my page is part of that. I usually thought that the personal FB page will be part of the group. So I'm just checking on my Facebook page, and then, hey, my art page is on that group. And I was checking all their beautiful works there, very talented people. And then I really loved the design of this particular character like that. My goal,
man, right?
Well,
yeah, that's right. Definitely, that's the character that I saw, because part of my goal as an indie creator as well is to create covers for other people. Now I want to do that gig, because creating inside pages on my end is very tedious, very time consuming. I want to do covers for other people. I can do this. I can have my own rendition of this character. And then when I click on it, I got to your website. And then when I got there, I saw that this particular character is not just some adventure type of comic book. It stands for something. As I checked on it, I said, I believe in this thing. It's fighting against bullying. And I called email Stanley and dude, I want to do some cover with this, but I asked if I could do this for free, right? Because I believe in what you stand for. I think that's what I said in the email.
Yeah. And I was super excited to get that email because again, I love seeing other artists' renditions of the characters we work with. That's one of my favorite parts of working with Bleakhaven, is just seeing all these different versions of the characters and all these different artists leaving their mark on the world we've created.
And understandable. I mean, I saw your art. Your art is definitely the best version of Bert the Mothman I've seen so far. I like the 90s animation style, what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the 90s X-Men or Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah, it's like something I'd turn on and I'd immediately watch on Saturday morning cartoons. I dig it.
Thank you so much for that. I do really miss those. That in the simpler times, watching cartoons in the weekend.
Sit down in the morning, 10 a.m., grab a bowl of cereal. Love
Definitely. Maybe in my end, sit down, grab a bowl of rice.
Tell us more about your artwork, your comic work.
All right. I started selling my stuff, my comics, 2011. Started attending cons here in the Philippines, local conventions. We have this, what you call Comic-Con, but to make it Filipino, we replaced the C with a K. So it's Comic-Con. Awesome. To make it our own. Yeah.
The Comic-Con here, actually, they got sued by San Diego, so maybe they should have done that too.
Yeah, that's probably what they should have thought of.
Yeah, it's called FanX now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a good thing that changed it, but don't think they can do that here. It's very far. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't
I
think
don't
that
know.
they have too much control over that.
No, they just got mad because we were bringing in more revenue than San
Yeah.
Diego was.
And it's a cheaper
Oh.
place to travel to, and it's it's
Yeah.
just better.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
just-
Yeah.
What's the previous name before it's Spanex?
It was called Salt Lake Comic Con. So the San Diego Comic Con
So-
sued them because they said it was too close to their name. Even though there's like New York Comic Con and
exactly.
Rose City
Right.
Comic Con, Emerald City Comic Con.
So many Comic Cons everywhere,
But they tried to bully the Salt Lake one, the Salt Lake Comic Con.
And it worked. I'm not sure how it worked, but they were able to get them to change their name. Which is pretty crazy.
It kind of works. It's like take a pro wrestling. You got WWE, right? The big empire trying to take on like a little place like AEW, right? Sure, yeah, they could probably bring more money in and then take them out, but AEW is getting more of the fan service because people want to watch more of that as opposed to San Diego.
They just rebranded it mostly, and it is more of a, I guess, a celebrity meet sort of thing. It's not just comic books. There's a lot of other conventions.
Yeah.
Anyway, to get back to your story.
Yeah, roping back up.
It's all right. It's all right.
Going to cons in 2011.
Yeah. I started that, and actually, I was working on it was my first job, and a friend of mine asked if I could join him in a table. Like we share a table to lessen the price, like that. You gotta share the table, and then I don't have comics yet, and then there's a 1 week span of I created a 20-pager stapled comics.
Oh, that's awesome.
That'll be the first one. Yeah, that'll be the first one. And then when I went to the convention, I don't know that even though that I'm nobody that time, very, very new in the scene, people ask for autographs when they buy your comic. That's a really good feeling back then. Oh, like somebody would like appreciate your first work. They like the art too.
For me, it was like when people are like, "Are you gonna autograph it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't. I don't feel like I did anything special, but it's nice to see people have that faith in your early work and get excited for the future of the project and to see where you go.
Yeah, that's right. And I fell in love with the scene, fell in love with the crowd, and then I didn't stop creating comics, but I didn't do serial stuff. I always do like maximum three-parter, like a trilogy on my comics, and then short stories. So after that, I created more titles.
And I think that's the key. You just got to keep going. You just got to keep creating.
Yeah, that is right. And after that comics, every time there's a convention, I'll be able to release new titles every time, new titles. And the problem with me is that I don't reprint titles. So every comics that I have throughout my comics career in the Philippines is that it's just a limited copy. Limited copy of it. So new followers just knew me for this kind of era on what I do, and old people knew this is my style then. So it's really transitioning and evolving because I have different eras in my comic creation, different fans for different types of comics that I do, because I do not stick to a one size type of comic, because I did experiment on different types of comics that I do throughout the years. So the first one is a trilogy. It's a normal size. I think the normal size here when you go to conventions is that it's a A5 size. It's an A5 size comics because it's cheaper to produce, like that, black and white. And then after that, it's a comics type. I fold it again to a smaller one so that I could produce more.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, seeing other people having the same size as mine, because it's not common back then. So it's now a smaller size on 8.5. Say, hey, I want to be unique. And I started printing smaller pocket-sized comic books like that.
That's awesome.
After that, what did I do? Free Comic Book Day. I think it's a worldwide event.
Yeah.
And I got invited to sell my stuff on Free Comic Book Day. And I did a short comics. When people try to buy it, I'm gonna draw them on the end, at the end of the page, that they trying to buy that comic. Sorry, it's a meta thing. Like that short comic is about Free Comic Book Day, telling about Free Comic Book Day, and the story goes that a person seen that comics, and at the end there's a blank page for me to draw that person who's buying that comics. Did it make sense?
That's awesome. That is really cool. Actually, that's a fun idea. I would buy something like that on Free Comic Book Day.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
I mean, most people don't buy anything on Free Comic Book Day; they just take it. But I'd buy that for sure.
Yeah, like it's a good experience that people got there. They got their free comics because there's an artist alley on our Free Comic Book Day that they could get for commissions, and that's a good memorabilia for that day. So
yeah, that's really cool.
That's what I thought.
We did Free Comic Book Day for us. I don't know if it was for you too. It was just a couple weeks ago. And we were in, I was actually doing Bleakhaven stuff, selling it out at the comic book shop that was doing that. They had a little convention going on, their first one since the pandemic.
The Wasatch Comic Con?
Yeah, Wasatch Comic Con. And that one, so that's another Comic Con, and that one's focused more on comic book creators rather than celebrities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call up San Diego and have them go after that Comic Con.
I have a question. So I noticed one of your latest things on Instagram was your Teletubby Ninja Turtles, and I want to hear about them.
So I've started to go and creating other stuff, like exploring other medium. I think that's a bootleg toy.
Yeah.
Don't call it them Teletubbies. They're Telebuddies. Yeah. It's
epic.
And created the short animation for it.
Yeah, that's what I saw first. I saw your little animation, and I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, trying, just exploring other stuff. I've started to research from scratch what to do, what stuff to get. So it's a good thing. People buying it, and the capital is already good.
That's good. Well, that's
good.
Like, it's I guess you could call it a bootleg, but I would call it more of like a mashup sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's like, it's better though than a bootleg, because most bootlegs kind of have like that cheap feel to it, where you look at that and you're like, this isn't cheap at all. This is authentic. Yeah.
It's like having your own like little sculpture too, because like it looks like
I did
painted.
I got
unique.
That's right. It's a hand painted everything, and I think the song is really catchy too. It's Ninja Power Friendship. Tell it, buddy. Ninja Power Friendship.
Perfect.
So blister packs is really hard to source here in the Philippines. So what I have is it's an acrylic case, Mighty Bond, super glued here. So I made everything, assembled everything, printed it out, assembled like that.
It reminds me of when I was in college, one of my final projects for my final art project, I made my own action figures. It just reminds me because it looks exactly the same. I made, I printed them out, these backgrounds and stuff. I just did me and like my friends. I actually made an action figure of the creator of Bert the Mothman. So there's me and a couple other buddies, and I just took these reaction figures and kind of kit bashed them together to make them look like us. and then reprinted them, and then I glued it on my new
new backing.
And it's like big action poses and like
awesome.
Sort of like a G.I. Joe feel, and then it's like Donald and Kate. I'm gonna dig those out. I don't know where I put them. So it just reminded me of that, and I love the idea. So I'm a big fan of the Telebuddies.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Oh, scary Kate.
It's gonna get you. And Donald. That's what my professor like got the biggest kick out of, was just it's Donald.
Like regular people names.
Yeah.
But with action poses.
Josh, the head artist, and I were at a toy show today selling comic books. And we saw a bootleg Transformer. It was like X-Change Bot or something.
Oh, nice. But
I really love when they try to change the names. It's another
it's fun. Its name was Harold, and so it goes along with so you think it's like Harold the Transformer.
Harold the GoBot.
Oh, Megatron's coming. It's okay. Harold's on the case.
What can he turn into? One gigantic slingshot.
It's not gonna shoot, because when you turn into a slingshot like that, it's just gonna fall down.
Moving forward, you guys, Kate told me you had him on your podcast. What podcast?
Yeah, shout out to the people and the host of Indie Comics podcast, Comics with a K again.
Yeah.
To make it Filipino. And then we're almost 5 years now in that podcast. I think we're 5 years. We have YouTube. We usually do our live in our Facebook. There's no one in our local comic scene, like when we had first that idea, that promotes our fellow creators. That there's no avenue who to discover. You can just discover everybody like accidentally during conventions in your own, but promoting other people, new and old creators here. That's our podcast is all about. Also, we try to go international as well by inviting other creators too. That I mean, it's just an idea. It's really happy that Stanley said yes.
It was a good time, and I'm excited to be invited back eventually. It's a lot of fun. I understand you gotta change your normal time though, because of my time schedule too. It's the pesky other side of the world, time zone issue.
It's all right. It's a fun episode, and then we pulled it off.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking with you guys and learning more about your comic book community and sharing a little bit of my comic book community. And I think that's, again, what we're doing here too. And I think it's a lot of fun. This is stuff that transcends, borders and, all these differences we may have, as we all like comic books. We all like art in general.
Well, I think that's what adds to the whole comic scene in itself. No one wants to read the same comic book 5 different times, Everybody likes to see different forms of the product, no matter where it's from,
And different perspectives and all that stuff too.
Exactly.
Because going back to what I was saying, I really enjoy seeing how different artists interpret my work.
I can't preach. I don't have any work, so... Who's your favorite guest you had on your show?
Not including me.
Yeah, no, forget about it.
Tell us about some of your other guests, though.
Dang it, that's gonna be my answer. But I think the most favorite, and I think the most popular, definitely locally, will be the creators of Trece. It's a homebrew, started from ash cans. They started from photocopied comic books. And now they are picked up by Netflix.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, they got their own animation, started from comics. Now we're here. Now they're on Netflix.
And who are they again?
Budget Tan and Tajo Baldissimo. but you could search for Trece Animation. That's like additional part of the dream that your creations transcends to other media like animation or movies like that. But that's really something to be proud of. Those are like small time guys here in the Philippines. Now the big company saw something in their creation. Like it's gonna be an inspiration for everyone, especially here in the Philippines as well.
That's a really cool
Yeah,
story. And
absolutely. I mean,
building up to that.
being picked up by Netflix is no small feat by any
No.
means. Do you have any favorite characters from Bleakhaven so far?
Oh, so I haven't read the whole thing yet, but definitely Bert caught my eye, and I did saw a little bit of a sneak peek of the other characters, and I am waiting for the Mananangay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Stanley to message me again to do covers or that when that guy
for Carl.
comes up.
Oh, beautiful.
And that goes back to the name thing of like a name with a scary monster
Or a brilliant superhero, Erwin Stickler.
Yeah, we have that a couple times in Bleakhaven. So Erwin's one of our other characters. We talked a lot about him on the last episode, or Birdman and Alex, the creator of Erwin, talked about him. And he's one of the main characters of the main story. He's actually in the last little bit of the second comic. We were trying to figure out like a good superhero name for him because he's like a soldier that's got this exo suit that's like enhancement, and he's got like a healing factor like Wolverine. And we were trying to figure out like a good name for him, but then we kind of realized that he didn't need a superhero name, and he wouldn't really care about any other superhero name that anybody would give him, so he just goes by Erwin, his actual name.
Yeah, because he's just like a soldier and stuff.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
He doesn't care who notices. It's sort of like a James Bond sort of situation where
Erwin.
Or it's just
Stickler.
Erwin
Stickler.
But I mean, James Bond is one of the worst spies if you think about it, because everyone knows who he is.
Of course.
No,
Exactly.
his name is that super popular secret agent guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean James Bond?
The most famous secret agent.
Yeah, exactly.
Went to a.
Are you Bond? No. Okay.
Whatever you say, but everybody's wearing casual here.
But yeah, we'll have Carl real soon. He's one of the issues coming up, and Welcome to Bleakhaven will feature him.
And just to share regarding comics, looking forward to that. Yeah, looking forward to share my rendition of your beautifully crafted world Bigly. I really love that.
Can't wait. She could do in some main covers here pretty soon too.
Yeah, you should. Most definitely. Give this man a series.
No, I can't do that still. I have a deadline this year. For a comic. It's can I cry now?
Yeah.
The deadline it's in November. It's a redrawn story. The title of it's School Run. It's elementary kids in their world. Zombies are treated as a regular kind of weather. Like, oh, we have zombies today, like that. It's just like rain, or it's a snow day. So don't forget to take your anti-zombie pills, kids. So that's a really good story of my friend. It's picked up by a small-time publisher. He drew it some year ago, like 2010, but it's gonna be redrawn by me.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm not usually I like the zombie genre, but I really enjoy it when there's a new unique take on it, and that sounds like a really entertaining story.
Yeah, that's right. It's a fun way to start that series. Like they'll be picked up by a school bus, but it's fortified, like a fortified school bus with guns and armors. Hope I could send you one, guys. And I do now know how to send international, but shipping fee kills it. I'm trying to a guy from I play Pokemon Unite, and one of the players is from Australia. He got one of the toys like that. So I do now know when it comes to comic books and shipping. I think I'm pretty expert.
Yeah, it gets pricey. Even shipping, like for us domestically, shipping can be a nightmare.
Yeah.
There you go. So I can't do any series right now. I'm on deadline like that.
Okay.
And I am aching to create my own stuff in the future. But yeah, because comics creation here in the Philippines as a comic artist is not yet a viable source of income for me. Definitely for me. It's just a passion project, do it on the side, and still have to go on with a regular day job. But some people do here in the Philippines have this comic creating as their own job, but that's really good for them. But on my end, had to have this regular day-to-day graphic artist job. But I do love, if my boss gonna have listen to this, I really love my job, enjoying it.
That's good. It's good to cover that.
That's more than I can say for sure. I work at a grocery store, so this is what I look forward to.
We're getting there, and I do admire that you're still doing art and you're still pushing forward and continuing to create, because I do think that that's the key to doing any of this, is just to keep going.
You just got to push through.
I do really love it. I love it when the story comes together, when the creating of the characters. Man, I just love to tell stories, and comic books is just a way how to express it. It's just the medium of how to do it. That's really aching to share the other stories on my end. So I have like 2 stories pending that I think that is good. The first audience gotta be me.
No good.
Well, we're anxiously waiting for Sunny with a Chance of Zombies for sure.
Yeah. That's the call out. That's gonna be here. Oh my God, it's November. We do have comic books that is available right now. It's an anthology. It's indie published. It's crowdfunded last year. It's a 120 pager. It's a collection of 6 stories. It's just a bit of crazy story to this book, because every story right here is what I created 2015, and I redraw all of it and compile it into an anthology.
And what's that called?
Balik Tanaw. Balik Tanaw is translated to looking back.
Oh, okay.
So it's really fits. Oh, you can message me. You can message me. Yeah, you can directly message me in my socials, and also I think it's available in a comic book store called Secret HQ that people know of.
Well, that's awesome.
It's not secret anymore. It's like our James Bond.
We talked about it.
Well, all you folks at home can go buy a plane ticket and go mug him in the street for his comic book.
Hey, we don't want your money. Give me the book.
Yeah, I need some Telebuddies. I think you should do mini Telebuddies comic strips. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, definitely. People asking, does your toy have a comic? I think the toy comes first. And then, yeah, definitely. And also at the card back of it, the back part, I created like a short background story for them. There's a background story. It's really stupid. Like telling buddies, look at the damp rock. Can I read it? Is it a story? Like looking at the damp rock in their hand, they felt happiness. They walked over to the window of Skull Castle Cave, so they have their own castle as well, and reflected on the wild surrounding. They had always loved deserted La La Land. with its dull, dead desert. It was a place that encouraged them to feel at home. So they live in a desert. They have their own castle. And it's called La La Land.
Beautiful.
Now we're going to describe them that they are root beer drinkers with muscular legs and abs. Their friends saw them as graceful giant gamers. Once, they had even helped an injured chicken cross the road. The sun shone like dancing flamingos, making the brothers calm. The telebuddies looked back, even more calm, playing with the damp rock, uttering the words, this is Filipino words, ikaw ang bongga. Because, let me explain that. Kawabanga, right, is the word for the turtles. Kawabanga. Mm-hmm. And this one, I changed this to ikaw ang bongga. Ikaw means you, and bongga in Filipino, it's like fabulous. Ikaw ang bongga, so you're fabulous.
You're fabulous.
I love it. That's beautiful.
Someone maybe for merchandising right now. So I'm officially out of questions. Is there anything else you would you'd like to plug about your stuff?
That's the reason why the book and the telebuddies, and that is it. I think, or in regarding to merch and stuff.
Yeah, go follow him on Instagram. That's where he has all his best stuff.
Yeah,
at least that I've seen.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the other future projects that I'm gonna do, and I want to surprise the world with. I think that's a very bold statement.
It's not bold enough, man.
Nope.
It's not bold enough. Surprise us.
I have a favorite comic that I create for my aunt. It's for my deceased aunt. It's like a tribute comics for her. It's a short comics it's just a 20 pager, but I inputted a tracing paper onto it, like part of the comic book. So when you read this part, it's a plain printed text, and then when you overlap it with the tracing paper, you see the ghost part. So everything in the ghost part is printed on the tracing paper. So each page has a tracing paper, and the printer has a hard time. It's a hard time making that one. So we just ended up creating for three conventions, like 75, 25 each. Mm-hmm. So like that. And my friend told me about SVK Comics. Have you heard of that comics?
Have you heard about him?
Negative.
I haven't read it, but how he created that comics is really wonderful, because SVK by Warren Ellis, and what he did was that comic is printed with a special UV ink.
Oh, cool.
I think I'm going to recreate what he did on that, so that my stuff would be able to produce easily. He got this free UV light. When you shine upon them, there's gonna be the UV ink bubbles on that. I think that's gonna be great for my ghost part.
Man, that's a cool idea. I love talking to you because you just come up with things that are so cool and interesting and unique, like the tracing paper. I know that's, like you said, that was really difficult, but that's just such a cool idea. And that's just something that's like, man, why didn't I think of something like that, you know?
So that'll be the future plan for it.
Mm-hmm.
So thank God for Warren Ellis and his creation. I have an idea on, that's going to be a great idea on how we could make my stuff produce easily. Yeah, Nandito, it's about a boy being guided by his ghost aunt everywhere he goes, because nandito lang ako in English is I'm right here.
Man, you're just hitting us in the feels right now, man.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful tribute.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure to check out all this cool content. So we're actually coming up close to the end of our podcast.
No.
Yeah.
I have to have you on again. That's all that this means.
Hey, yeah. If the school run is up, maybe we could let the fans know that it's available everywhere, and maybe we could try and figure out how to ship worldwide.
Sure.
That's the tricky part. But...
And go ahead and tell folks at home real quick where they can find your stuff out on what's your Instagram and all of that.
All right. Yeah, you can definitely stalk me. So my address is you can find me on Instagram. My handle is Cheeky Doodle Doo, and my Facebook is Cheeky Dude. I think that is it. Those are the two handles that I post constantly.
And he posts some pretty great stuff there, so everybody should go follow him.
Absolutely. And little fun fact that you didn't know, that's actually his legal name.
It's Chickadoodle.
Ardie Aquino. Yeah, definitely. That's the correct one. Are we going to play the Telebuddies theme song?
I'll edit it in.
Or we could just sing it now a cappella style.
Nobody wants that
let's
for me.
Not.
We don't want to lose the subscribers we have.
We did.
Thanks again for coming on. It was a lot of fun. I love this image of Bert. It's one of my favorite. And his variant issue will be available soonish. What we're actually planning on doing is making the regular comic free for everybody, or as free as we can make it. And then your issue we're going to sell and then give the proceeds to the charity we're working with, Stand for the Silent.
Wow, that is pretty amazing. Looking forward to it. Hey, Stan, can I get a copy of that?
Yeah, I'll save one for you, and then when we can figure out shipping, I'll make sure you get it.
Yeah. Definitely. Just save one from me. Just say one from me. That is all.
Like I said, appreciate you coming on. I appreciate the work you've been doing. I look forward to work with you.
Thank you so much.
More in the future.
Absolutely. And just to close this out, Bleakhaven's going to be at FanX.
Yeah, we can't say Comic-Con anymore.
That's my bad. We can if we give it a K.
But yes, Bleakhaven will be at FanX in September. I think it's 16th through the
16th through the
18th. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll be there all 3 days. We've got our own little booth. You come stop by, meet the artists.
Absolutely.
Check up a brand new trading card that we've got planned for it.
And if anybody's ever listened to my podcast, the Birdman and Rooster Show, or the Critter Community Podcast, me and the Rooster will definitely be there for all 3 days. So make sure to run into us. I think that's going to round us up. Thank you for being on, and this has been Welcome to Bleakhaven.